Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The only sports that I really enjoy watching at the Olympics is gymnastics. And in the Winter Olympics, I love the ice skating. And when they watch them skating, it's almost like they flying or they just floating in air, and then they just lift up their leg and they just lift up their hand and then they just twirl. And I remember thinking as a child, it must be so easy. And you walk around the room thinking you can do it. And of course everyone's laughing because we look nothing like the people on TV except in our own heads. When you actually try to ice skate or do any of the things that they do in gymnastics, you realize that it takes so much repetition, so much practice, until they get to that point of making it look so easy. There's so much work done beforehand, before it becomes easy. One of the most profound things in Bhaja Govindam, in this verse number 3, where they talk about how we get so easily distracted seeing eye candy or something that's fascinating and intriguing, is manasi vichintaya varam varam. When we're trying to change the way we think, we have to think about it again and again. We often talk to ourselves in our heads, whether we want to admit it or not. And what we don't realize is that talking to ourselves is actually a very useful thing. So when we have a particular line of thought, it could be something like we put ourselves down. And then to change that, we have to talk ourselves out of it. So if we say something like, oh, I never get anything right, then we have to actually say, wait, no, there's a few things I do get right. Remember that time when I actually got an A on the test and everyone else didn't? I got that right. Or remember when so-and-so was really sad and I said, and that made her feel so much better? I got that right. Or I go to the gym and I've been able to go every day this week, and that's success. I got that right. So for that one comment that we said, which has become a habit that we say it and then we feel horrible about ourselves, we actually have to talk ourselves out of it. We have to prove to ourselves how that one comment isn't truth. It's not absolute. And so here in Bhaja Govindam, it's talking about it in terms of a desire. When a desire comes along and you think, oh, I really want that. It would be so amazing if I could have that. And in this verse, it's any pleasure, whether it be the sexual pleasure or any other pleasure also. Then yes, that thought might be so strong in our head of I want, because it's so amazing, so beautiful, so fantastic, it would make my life so much better. And then what we have to do is we have to talk ourselves out of it. My life's pretty good even without it, and I can have an amazing life without it. I can have this which is amazing or that which is amazing. And to realize that actually what I think is amazing is not so amazing. So if it's something like food, you can remind yourself of the calories or how unhealthy it is or how it's fleeting. If it's a person, then yes, sure, some people we want to pursue a committed relationship with, or if it's not a committed relationship, then it's just going to make things complicated and it just adds to baggage, and then it might lead to awkwardness later on. And so in this way, we talk ourselves out of the things that are not conducive and desirable, or not a priority in our life at that point in time, or something that's not going to be quite advantageous for us. And we can talk ourselves into being able to make decisions that can be quite hard. So we can talk ourselves into waking up early in the morning and setting the alarm and having our dialogue ready about why we need to get out of bed and go to the gym, or get out of bed and do our japa. We can talk ourselves into attending a regular class or cultivating a good habit. But when we talking to ourselves, it has to be repeated, varam varam, because a pathway of thoughts or neuronal charges leave a memory, and so we tend to think in a certain way again, repeatedly, just by default. And so when we want to change that default setting, unlike with our phone, it's not a click of one button. We actually have to think the counter thought far more often than we thought the original thought. So repeatedly talking ourselves out of, or repeatedly talking ourselves into what is conducive. In Bhaja Govindam, they talk about it as seeing the opposite side of something. If I see something as amazing, see it as something that wouldn't be. Or if I think of something as horrible, see how it could be. And what this does is not necessarily change the way we feel. It can too over a period of time. But what it can really do, which is extremely profound, is it makes us see the thing, whatever it is, whether it be an object of our indulgence or a problem, is just that thing. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just there as it is, for whatever it is. But when we look at it in one way, it becomes extremely desirable. When we look at it in another way, it's not so intriguing. And with our problems, if we look at it one way, it can seem so daunting and devastating. And if we change the way we look at it, it's something we can cope with and get over. So this manase vichintaya varam varam is really a formula that's given to us to think about something again and again. Even in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 6, when it says that the way to success is through abhyasa, is to practice. And that's being echoed here, that whenever we want to make a change, whenever we want to succeed, the thing that's most important is practice, repeated effort. So right now, whether we realize it or not, we're thinking certain thoughts repeatedly. And when we become aware of it, maybe we can choose better whether we want to repeat that thought or let it go and choose which thought we would like to repeat. Think about it.
For more information on Chinmaya Mission, visit our website, chinmayamission.com. For all the young adults out there, to know about our upcoming activities at the nearest Chinmaya Mission Center, visit us at chinmayayuvakendra.org. And for all our parents and teachers listening, please visit chinmayakids.org for an interactive experience of spirituality on a digital platform. Spellings of the website are provided in the description field of the podcast.